There are a lot of Philadelphia fans wish it wasn't a thing, but oh, trust me, Philly media is going to get their own separate video.
Lobby. I wrote this part as a means to an intervention. To the top stars of this city, I hope you listening. To the deluded team members, media members, stubborn head coaches, and front offices, I hope you listening. And to the bent out, out-of-shape fan base, I hope you listening. This is for the whole fucking city of Philadelphia. I hope you listening. No one likes us. We don't care. We don't even like ourselves. There are narratives about Philadelphia that I've tried to fight since I started watching sports. This fan base is the worst. They don't even like their players. They boo them too much. Sixers fans, we've been so stuck in our ways since 1983 that we can't even realize that giving a nigga like Tobias Harris $180 million to play for our team does in fact not help the team, especially when we choose him over Jimmy Butler. Legends have tried to help this team win a title for years, and they only do it when they leave Philly. We had a whole process to try and win a championship for this city, and haven't even been back to a conference championship since I was 1 year old. I had to sit through numerous players wear red, white, and blue to try and win for us, just to instead see Jamal Crawford do an in-between alley-oop to Blake Griffin to give the Clippers a 50-point lead against us. Do you realize what that does to a child's brain chemistry? The last 3 seasons alone, I've seen our biggest rivals, players, and teams that I fight to say that Joel Embiid and the Sixers are better than win championships for their city. Meanwhile, Daryl Morey sits and eats a box of crumble cookies and tries to wait to sign the next big star that could choke in the playoffs along next to Embiid. And that's even if he makes it to the playoffs healthy. You guys don't get it. No new arena in Center City or Camden or wherever Josh Harris wants to move the Sixers will change the fact that we are the Cowboys of the NBA, and ignorant trolls and fat people that can't even rub it down the court one time without getting winded get to relish in that undisputable fact, and it makes me sick. The Phillies and Flyers make me sick too. Oh, you thought that 2 years of playoff success will erase the pain of missing the playoffs for a whole entire decade? Having to wait for guys like Maikel Franco, Rhys Hoskins, Scott Kingery to become the franchise guy and lead us to a title, all while seemingly everyone in our division has either made or won a World Series? That's not how it works. The pain is only taken away if you win a title, and against the Astros, we got no hit in the World Series, our own ballpark, and then a year later, let a young Diamondbacks team come back against us, win Game 7 in our own ballpark. We should have had our priorities straight, but instead, we were giving up one-night stands to psycho fans that could flex just how trashy the team is. But hey, I guess that's better than having your franchise goalie get caught up on sex assault charges, right? Comcast doesn't give a damn about attendance for the Flyers either. We had rival teams taking over Wells Fargo Center, and the team had no answers for it. Ed Snyder has rolled over in his grave so many times he looks like a rotten rotisserie chicken. Fans of Philly tend not to talk about these teams highly because of these reasons. But do y'all know who they will talk about? The Birds. The Philadelphia Eagles. It seems like everybody has come out of the woodworks recently over the last few years to pledge their allegiance to the Eagles. I mean, I see celebrities, analysts, hell, even former diehard Cowboy fans coming out of the woodworks to say that they're Eagle fans now. And when you're on top, that means everybody hates you, and that's not our fault. What is our fault is not backing up our trash talk. What is our fault is starting off the season 10-1 and losing 5 of the last 6 games of the season, only to get blown out by the Bucks in Jason Kelce's final game as an Eagle. What is our fault is consistently calling all our position players the best at their position, but not winning anything to actually show for it. You don't get over 1 billion followers across all your socials randomly, or have players or rival teams want to play for you out of nowhere. Clearly, the Eagles are doing something right, and a lot of you haters can't get through your thick skulls that Howie Roseman has this team operating how a football team should operate. But that just means that every mistake that we make, every questionable decision off the field and on the field that's done, and every quote that is taken out of context will be amplified times 10. I'm a diehard Eagle fan, but I'm gonna still call it for what we are and what we have been. Borderline Super Bowl contenders that always finds a way to mess up our success. And I already see the tweets and narratives that will be written if we don't win anything this year with the roster that we have. People are begging for us to fail. Only there was a media outlet in the city to explain and highlight all these problems that every team in Philly has without adding fuel to a possible flammable situation. Let me tell you something, WIP. You seem to have alienated every middle-aged white person that gets drunk at Philly games with your takes about how Hurts and Sirianni hate each other, or how we should trade the last and only thing to come out of the process in Joel Embiid. But you can't fool me. There are a lot of infamous names in the city that can change the national narrative about what it really means to play in Philadelphia, to embrace the culture of the city and how we got the nickname Brotherly Love, to show that most of these Philly fans aren't actual pieces of shit, but they're actually passionate, and hell, even compassionate about their players, because they don't want these guys to fail. They actually want them to reach their ceiling. Hell, we want them to break their ceiling. We want them to shoot for the stars and etch their names into the history books so that when they look back at their careers, they can be proud that they were a Philadelphia Eagle, Flyer, Sixer, or Philly. But no. Guys like Elliott Shore Parks rather stir the pots and make a situation that was already toxic much worse. By the way, Elliott, Deshaun Jackson is still waiting on a public apology after you falsely accused him of being in the gang, something that made him get released by the Eagles and cut by Chip Kelly. Spike Eskin, you nepo baby. Your father just got banned on sex assault charges after he terrorized the Eagles and Sixers for years. Hunter Brody, you sellout. You had a chance to let Philly fans that didn't know you before hear what they needed to hear, but instead, you fall in the same line of loudmouth radio analysts in Philly that says something crazy enough to get people to tune into your radio show. Something that this geek does for a living. Joe Giglio. If I had a nickel for every time you had a good take, I'll be dead broke, because every time things go slightly wrong for a Philly team, you are there with a shitty take. Trade Bryce Harper for Juan Soto, Dave. Phillies won't make the playoffs. Jason Kelce, you should retire already. Trade A.J. Brown, he's such a diva. Do you have any sense of morality, Joe? Is there any popular Philly fan that even likes you? Yet you're the voice that people hear on a daily basis. You're the voice that people hear when they come in and out of their jobs. You might be worse than Mike Missinelli, who left 97.5 because everybody got tired of hearing his boneheaded takes. I even called him out on it one time and got blocked for it. So if this somehow finds you, Mike, hope you're having a good day. I don't really care if this ruffles some feathers, because there needs to be a change in how Philly radio operates as a whole. Stop giving these fans heart-first, dense, asinine takes for the sake of a ratings pop. Let them hear what they need to hear. Let them see what they need to see. And maybe, just maybe, in another generation's time, we can have a bunch of Philly fans that don't get berated by national media and fans worldwide. And Philly versus the world can have a positive impact for once. Clear out the abusers, the downright stupid takes that you see, and we can finally move forward as a city. Because this city, while it may have some of the most toxic, annoying, and mentally and physically abusive fans in the world, they are still the most passionate fans in the world as well. I love you.